Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. It's a late one today. Have some other things to do, but gonna be doing some pen and ink sketching. Um, Hope you're having a good night. And specifically going to be catching up on the Inktobers right now. I'm 3 days behind, and the 3 prompts I'm gonna kind of go through and do. I say kind of because I'm not gonna do a masterpiece for each one today. I was even thinking about even fitting all 3 of them on the same piece of paper, or maybe combining them into one single drawing. Just giving everyone a second to join here. Say hello in chat if you can hear me, if the music's good, if it's too loud, too quiet. Just adjusting some things on my stream settings here, and then we get going. All right. So, got my watercolor paper here. It's been my favorite to draw on, whether it's paint or ink or gouache. I think it's 300 gram. If not, it's 200. But great sketchbook. Probably gonna be my sketchbook of choice for a while till I find another one where I'm like, whoa, that's so much better. Here's just some of the past recent ones. Inktobers. Might stay just pen and ink today. The last couple I've done color, because color's fun. Just like the extra information you can get in there. But I'm gonna start with armadillo. The 3 prompts today. I'm gonna do them in out of order, but it's armadillo, kind, what was it, empty? So I think the actual order was kind, empty, armadillo for the last 3 days, but I'm gonna start with armadillo just because well, I don't know how to draw an armadillo, and I'm gonna take it as a time to learn how to draw an armadillo. It's armadillo learning time. Oh, there's my camera. It's out of focus really bad. Come on there. Oh, there we go. Let me see where it'll put it with auto. Even darker. Okay, looks like we have to do the manual. That should be good. Alright, so I already have armadillo references up here. I got like a skeleton, his muscle structure over to the side that I'm going to use to learn his... I mean, I know what an armadillo looks like in my brain, but I don't understand exactly how it's made. So lately when I've been learning how to draw animals, I'll look up their skeleton, muscle structure, and then in like every position, like front, back, side, up, down, center, whatever, and then I'll try to use all that information to kind of create my own version, put them in my own position. I'm just gonna go right into the pen sketch too. And pretty much every single Inktober I made a mistake because of that, but that's the fun in it. I like forcing myself to make decisions with the pen. I get too noodly with the pencil sketches, but I mean those are good for when I really want to get something down and perfect, or in longer streams, but I'm trying to keep it shorter today. Trying to think how I want to place them. It'd be nice to do a little I mean, last time I did the eagle in several positions. So, it might be good to put myself through the same exercise. So, I can learn. Try to improve each one. Okay, well, I'll just start with this one I like here. It looks funny. I like the position he's in. And he's kind of chilling in some grass, which I like for framing him. So I'll start that as like the bottom part. I don't know if this is a good habit, but I've been really trying to get the shape down right away, like the big main shape. That's such a bad habit my whole life of detailing right away. And here's what I mean, like kind of getting the silhouette, like even then. It's pretty round. Didn't quite get the shoulder shape I wanted there. And then his armor kind of comes in like this. Didn't curve the top of that line as much as I wanted to. And oh boy, their hands are weird, huh? Weird little hands. They're almost like alien looking. Okay, then the line that cuts off the armor is the side of his head. His ears are, I would say, probably the most distinct part about an armadillo. Something like that. And then top of the head, a little bit behind the ear. And I definitely didn't mean to draw that line through there. I felt as if I improved on my eagles through all of them. They have this little faceplate that like leads up to their nose, sort of like this. It's almost a pig nose. So literally the first time I'm like drawing an armadillo seriously. I actually don't think I've ever drawn an armadillo. I feel like I turned him a little too much on his side. So to try to compensate, I'm going to not show as much of the armor here. Something like that. And the stomach is, looks like it's skin. I have to find like I'm seeing this. I know it's tiny. I could probably, actually no, I can't actually because of where my other camera is. So, which I just remembered to press record on now. Good thing I thought of that. I'm just gonna sketch a few armadillos. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to draw his other hand. Let's see if I can fake it. You know, an example of pen being a mistake prone. I kind of have fun figuring out how to get around them, even if it means like a little bit of a thicker line or a scribble, something like that. And finish the texture here. Got his leg. Behind his armor here. And the other leg just peeks out. Probably start adding in some texture now. And the armadillo does not cheap out on detail. Got these little scales, sort of. A little more square though. Say I'm making them a little too round. Bring them down a little bit more. It's just that there's a distinct kind of layer in between each one. So add some of that ambient occlusion there. You know I love me some ambient occlusion. That ended up being a little bit bigger of a scale layer there. And just sort of let it disappear into the grass here. Now the top part of the armor, it's smaller. It's even smaller. It's like little circles almost. It's almost like they would turn into little dots here for me as they turned away in perspective, but as they face here. Gotta keep to the circles here. The texture actually changes a little bit. It ends up, there's like these little loops that happen, and they'll go this way. It's like cobblestone. That's how I would remember how to draw this part. I would say it's like drawing cobblestone. Try to remember to get to dashes and dots as it gets. Over to the edge more. I guess pretty much every time Inktober makes me draw an animal, I'm just gonna like do this so I learn. That's one thing I like about the prompt list. I've already had to draw many things that I wouldn't go out of my way. I don't like wake up in the morning like, you know what, I want to draw an armadillo. Can't say that's happened to me yet. But today is the day. I'm gonna try to leave some out here so it kind of appears as a highlight. I don't want to be too dense with it. And got one little armadillo going here. There's some grass behind him. And this is the much more aggressive armor. Okay. Doing from a different angle now. So you crosshatch a little in here. Indicate a little bit of roundness to his tummy. It's apparently a male armadillo. his tummy. And then maybe fill in a little bit more. Trying to make his claw pop out a little bit because I got busy, but that's fine. Gonna try a few more. Oh yeah, so the face plate or whatever has the same as the side armor on top, like the little circles. Again, I'm gonna kind of leave some out at the top, try to indicate some light. And get some shading in the ears here in a second. It'll be fun to test myself at the end of the month and go back to all the animals without looking and see if I can see if I learned from what I learned. Hey, what's up, Frankie? I just noticed y'all hopped in chat now. It hasn't been anyone in a minute. What's going on? Hey, Charizard, good to see you here too. I wish, maybe I can zoom in the camera more, but then it would mess up my other camera angle. Decided we're doing some, if you've missed the beginning, I'm going to do different angles of this armadillo, so. Shade the ear up a little bit. There we go. First little armadillo. I don't like the lighting I have right now. It's glaring out the pen. It's not as black as it should be. I hate that. Because then it's not satisfying. I'm going to do a little teensy tweak. And see if I can get some more contrast. Let's see. Add filter. Color correction. Contrast. Oh, that's too much. A little better. Oh, there we go. Brightness down a tad. There we go. That's way more, I think, what y'all should be seeing. Let's roll with that. Hanging out at work. Just got a momentary break. Well, I appreciate you taking your break time to hop in, man. And that break time's valuable when you're at work. Alright, what do we got? We got this guy sniffing in the ground. I'm gonna do that. Let's see. This guy sniffing here. And the reason why I want to do this one is because it has it's like its hind leg, its tail, which I didn't get to learn how to draw in this armadillo drawing here. Alright, it shows that my hands are like weird now, but whatever, at least the drawing looks better. Like I have like dark hands now. It's not my skin tone, but the ink looks black on the white paper, so. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, good. I'm glad. For now, I'm a different colored person. Alright, so this guy's got his face like buried. So to get some like sticks and twigs going, some leaves on the ground, you know what I'm saying? This little like chunk of wood. And this drawing's really blurry. I mean, not this drawing, this like photograph of this armadillo. I am tired. I'm gonna say things wrong a lot. So he's got his ear just coming out of the ground. Actually, no, his face, it's like this. Alright, I gotta remember, get the overall shape. Gotta keep reminding myself. Overall shape. And then the armor. It's pretty perfectly round here. This. And then the tail. Is like the biggest armory thing of them all. It's like got the biggest types of scales. And then it droops down like this. Up and then down again. So that's where that little fold happens in its armor. I get these lines. Oops. No one saw that. It's almost like it's whatever. I'll figure that out in a minute. So you don't even have the little circles on the back of this one. It's like dots. They like start turning into. It's very gradual. I mean, some little curved lines will signify it enough. At least for this example. Alright, let's finish the tail here. How long does the tail go for? Because it's way longer than I thought. Sleep is for the weak. That being said, take care of yourself. Saw what? Oh no, I forgot what I said, Frankie. I knew that was gonna happen. What did I say? You remember? You don't remember. Sometimes you're a good help. On stream. Seems to be a pretty stiff tail, like it always goes out in the same way, the same shape. Curves up like this. Just gets smaller and smaller. Probably getting smaller too quick. I'm just gonna get the hind leg in there now, which not many good shots of it. It's hairy at the start. Sort of comes out like this. It's almost kind of looks like a pig's hind leg almost. Got a claw there. Another claw there. It's like a turtle shell, it just gets dark right here. Try to go for the round cross hatching on this. I think I truly decided that this is my favorite pen today. This thing is just amazing. It's gotten me through a lot of drawings now, and it's just reliable. And it's a fine-tipped fountain pen, so it doesn't, it's not good for filling large areas, but it's Old Faithful at this point. Armadillos aren't super photogenic. No, they're not. They're not really ready for photo shoot day. So the plate of armor on his face like meets this plate of armor. Like, where are even Armadillo's eyes? Oh yeah, they barely even have them, huh? They're pretty much just in like a spot where it would be on a mouse. So. See, other ear would be kind of like this, I think. Like we wouldn't see the other side of it. So this one I already think it came out worse than my first one, but he is in a weird position. No, they're not stroking poses for the armadillo photo shoots. It's supposed to be striking. It happens. Alright, so all these little dots now. Jeez. I'll have to fake it. I'll just say it's a very bright day where this armadillo is. I will make sure that it's going around though. It's very clearly arched. And the ones here are a bit more separated. And then it fades back to the tiny ones again. Just trying to make sure they're curved. Every mark is curved for most of them at least. Hey, what's up, Stephanie? Good to see you here. Watching you while we're hanging some art, so I'll be popping in and out. Cool, cool. Good to see you here, though. Glad you hopped in. I was wondering if you would. All right. We are catching up on Inktober today, and we're doing 3 prompts. Keeping it sketchy, keeping it inky. And I'm kind of going backwards right now. It was kind, empty, armadillo, and right now I'm starting on the armadillo, so here we are. Lots of scales on this thing. Well, they're not scales, but they look like scales. Armadillo scales. That's what we'll call them. They are weird. It's one of those animals just like, what are they called? Is it platypus? Or it's just like, let's see what that does. Porcupines too, those things look really strange. I didn't really realize how strange porcupines looked until the last time I was at the zoo. And I like really looked at one. And I also didn't realize how freaking gigantic they were. I thought they were way smaller. Like I thought porcupine were like the size of hedgehogs. Like they are ginormous. Really? So Kirsten over here says it's a myth that they can shoot their quills, apparently. What myth? Like what myth though? What? Do you know what religion? Or like, what should I say? Oh, okay. It's not like. I got you. I see. Yeah. So you're saying, yeah, like Jesus wasn't like armored, like porcupines shoot their quills. That's what Jesus said. I didn't know Jesus was so into porcupines. Now I know. It's a little. This foot could have come out a little farther here. There we go. And he's stepping on the ground, so he's gonna need something to step on. And then I'll just shade this in. I feel like every time I crosshatch, I experiment with a different way to do it. It's so fun. So many ways you can approach like how to do it. Because you can essentially choose like what kind of crosshatching you're gonna use, or use all of them combined, or only some of them, and it all gives different effects, which I find to be fun to experiment with. It's supposed to be like a little piece of wood or something, but I don't know what it's turning out to be now. Something. Some more leaves on the ground, maybe. Dead grass and straw. See if I can color in some negative space. Make that pop out a little bit more. I find it fun with fine point pen drawings to experiment with all these little micro areas of negative space. Just color them in and get all these different textures that almost happen on accident. I would say that's the happy accident side of pen. It's not so much like Bob Ross where you can just get a giant paint stroke across the painting and finish a waterfall in 1 second, but as you sort of like shade and scribble out the waterfall, you can experiment with little spaces you color in. guess when I do it, I try to make sure it all sort of connects at some point, like leads into something. Because ultimately, everything does. If you look around in reality, every object eventually touches another object that leads into another object, and it's all sort of connected at some point. I'll just apply a little bit more perspective for this guy. Sometimes I'll just like shade with the complete opposite direction of line just because it opposes what's next to it more. It's sometimes the only reason I'll do it. I don't want to go too far out there. Leave some room for some other armadillos. A little rock here. A couple pebbles. A little rummaging. Guess need a little bit more of what he's rummaging in. Maybe it's like a bush. Rummaging in a bush. There we go. A bush with these sort of tiny leaves. There we go. And then make these bushes feel a little bit more on the ground. So that's a leaf. I think what helps me is I'll actually like try to explain every single line in my head to myself. And if I can't come up with a reason why I'm putting it there, then to me that's a bad line. So it's like, what's this line, right? It's sort of a ground texture coming out from underneath the leaf. Maybe the tip of it could morph into another leaf, add the veins. But then here, I feel like this is where the bush meets the ground. So this is where like some cross-hatching shadow needs to come out. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that one. And like just like I did the environment and cross-hatching lines back here going vertical, I'll do them for the bushes too. Things that go farther back with cross-hatching, I tend to ignore the shape of them with the shadow. So kind of like how on his tail I'm going around with cross-hatching, but these I'm doing something a little bit more flat. To me, it like pushes it back a little bit, I guess, compared to the armadillo. Just that's all. Hey, Mr. Gamer, what's going on, dude? Good to see you here. Just noticed. We are just catching up on some Inktober. Drawing an armadillo right now. That's today's word. Then I'm gonna backtrack. I just need to do one more, two more. Let's see. This guy's got a funny little position to him. Let's draw this one. He's now so it's like he's on all fours facing us, like 3/4 view. Put him here somewhere. And restart my time lapse for the third armadillo. I have another camera going for reels and stuff. What's up with you, Mr. Gamer? What are you doing? What does the day bring you? Alright, again, nail the silhouette first. And the proportions. So, there's a toe. Start with a toe. I think I experiment with where to start every time. I think it depends on the subject, but I think anything that can ground your character first is the best place to start. So the foot indeed is very scale-like too. Their feet are honestly like like they don't make sense. I'm just not getting good shots. It's almost like nature was like making the armadillo. It was like, yeah, cool armadillo, like ears, nose, and then just I don't feel like making the feet, whatever. Just toss some weird blobby clothing at the bottom. Alright, so the next part of the silhouette would be coming out here where his back foot is chilling. It's like chilling on the ground like this, got a little toenail. Sort of like that, and then gotta sort of capture how he has a hip, and then it's sort of like that. And that's pretty damn round all the way to the ear, which would be the next like intersection of the silhouette. Make sure this is kind of getting proportioned right though. So this arm is overlapping, or his arm is, and then it like merges. I should have turned that into a little curve sooner. That's essentially what happens there. I think what really makes it look like an armadillo is where this shape meets the neck about here. So if that's the ear, and the ear sort of is out over here. This one has more stumpy ears. The other ones had like longer, pointier ears. And then this almost cuts off the back line, which I almost messed up in that sense. But in perspective, the ear would be about here. And we're like looking into the ear. It sort of just connects to the something like that. I might have put that in a weird spot, honestly. Keep rolling with it though. And then here we go. I'm gonna try to get this nose shape. It's like boom, 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 boom. And the nose comes out from underneath the armor. Weird little guys, man. Something like that. And the neck gets cut off by the armor that wraps around the ear like here. And goes to meet the arm. And I can't see, it's dark in this picture, but something like this. Actually, a little bit more under his chin there. Did you hear about the Bayonetta 3 controversy? No. What's the Bayonetta 3 controversy? Is that a game? I don't expect you to type it all out in the comment section, but I can look it up later. If you had to nutshell the controversy, what would it be? Thing is with these like photographer shots is they're always trying to do depth of field shit, so it's like you get this nice focused spot and then the rest is just blurred out. Can't see. That's why we have the picture of the skeleton, though. That's what usually helps me fill in those gaps. Alright, and get the nose. And from this angle, we can really see some armadillo-y skin. Armadillish skin. Sort of like that. And pretty much everywhere else. Guess I'll start here. Helena Taylor, voice actress of Bayonetta 3, was offered $4K to reprise her role. She didn't take the offer and got replaced by another VA that's more costly in her video. She told fans to boycott the game altogether. Huh. That seems like a really small amount to voice act an entire game, unless there's like not a lot of voice acting. Yeah, I mean that seems like why she would turn it down, but I mean I don't know enough.
But then you replace her with somebody that they're paying more.
Right. Yeah, that would be frustrating, no doubt. Are you gonna boycott it with her? Yeah, these textures aren't coming out exactly how I want them to. Start big and then fade like this. Except behind the head here, it comes back a little bit higher. Can't really see him from the other side that much, to be honest. But I'll just give him some texture there anyway. A couple dots. Basically, there's lines happening here because it's so foreshortened. Tons of commentators and outrage fans are currently discussing the situation. Excuse me. I'll definitely binge some of that later on YouTube when I'm chilling. Check it out. Every so often get down with some internet drama. See what's going on with it. I'm fiddling now. I'm just trying to match like stuff that I didn't like, but it's pretty much there. Honestly, it's that's like the lighter part of the armadillo. And it's like darker here. It's like has dark gray skin. Maybe that'll help. But this is all complete scale, so finish filling this in. I mean, there's no really quick way to sketch the armadillo skin. It's pretty intricate. I'm trying to like summarize it. Abbreviated armadillo skin, yes. Same here. It's interesting. Yeah, I find myself watching a lot of Penguin Zero's rants. I'm sure so do millions of others because he has a huge following. The guy that's just like, alright, that's all. See ya. And he has like that long hair. It's like all his stream, it's like he has such a big following now, he doesn't really have to do anything on camera. He just like starts his stream and, hey, what's up guys? Oh, you want me to check out the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing? Alright, let's check it out. It just like rants about it for a second. I mean, he's funny, he has his funny moments. His crazy ass analogies. Giving the guy some ground to stand on and move on to the last armadillo. Pretty happy with the quantity of armadillos here. I feel like the ground's like vanishing out that way or something. Armadillos. I'm just throwing little pebbles and rocks This guy's on dirt. Not in the picture, but where I'm putting him. We got one rummaging in a bush. We got one sitting in a poofy thing of grass. And then, yeah, add some shading under him here. And a little bit of shading here too. There we go. Something like that. Little plopped, loafed armadillo. He's loafing. And I guess I did miss a little bit of the texture on his face here. Just add that line. And it does actually follow the armor. There we go. And then his ear hole. There we go. The dark void that is this armadillo's ear hole. Well, I'm gonna do one more armadillo, but I have to go to the bathroom first, so I'll be right back. And thank you for hanging out so far. Take a second to go follow my YouTube channel and give it a like if you haven't. I'd appreciate that. And I'll see you in 2 seconds. Well, it's not gonna be that fast. It's gonna be like 2 minutes. So, see you then. Hey, thanks for sticking around. I'm pseudo back. I know what words are, and then when I try to read them, I don't know what they are. Drat. Well, I hope I didn't miss you, Frank, again. Sorry about that. I had to go to the bathroom. But we're 3 armadillos in. I feel like I should do like the eagle thing, do like a close-up face. The bottom right again. It's kind of playing out that way. Let's see what I got here. I think I have an army face. I don't have a close-up army face. But I will find. Oh no, I gotta get rid of that skeleton in the search bar there. That's cool. They roll up into little balls. I forgot about that. Well, that's funny. I'll do this one then. This is I think a good one. He's being held in someone's hands, but he's in a ball. But it's everything but his face is sticking out. I mean, the other way around. So it's like this. Okay, silhouette. The reason why I'm doing the silhouette first is because a big mistake I do often still is I don't place things right in my composition, and I end up drawing it off the paper. So like what the silhouette does is you ensure that the whole entirety of the drawing's in. There's a little head here. It's like the top of a heart. This looks like the more exotic armadillo that's not from around here. But it's okay, we'll draw him anyway. I've been noticing 2 distinctly different looking armadillos as I've been looking at pictures of them. But this one's just, it's in too good of a position to not draw this one. And then it curves down. Here's where the first like fold of it happens. It actually folds more than it turns into a ball. It's like, it's not a perfect ball. It just, from this angle, it looks like it. Like that. These things are funny looking, man. It's funny how animals are born naturally with like superpowers, and they just know how to use them right away. You ever think about that? Like, you're just born with armor, and you can roll up into it instantly. You already know how. Sonar with bats. Spiders can sling webs. That's pretty badass. Spiders trip me the hell out, let me tell you. Like, you look at all the other bugs and it's like, damn, that one's sophisticated. That's like 200 IQ bug right there. I'm not sure if this one's gonna come out right. And then he has a nose. They're like armored rats. It's basically what they are. Here, I'm to keep going, brother. Thanks, man. I will do. I will do. I can't talk on stream tonight. Will do. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, I'm catching up on Inktober, man. 3 days behind. It happens. Been doing a lot of moving, but there's no excuses. I must get them done. And he has this little like sunken in part on the top of his head. Drawing armadillos. For anyone joining in. Clearly, I mean, I guess at this point, if you look at this and you're like, what are we drawing? Then I'm not drawing them good. Clearly. Hopefully they look like, I mean, hopefully this one looks like an armadillo with the tail. I feel like that's the really distinct thing when you see when rummaging in a bush is like this curved tail thing. They're really rummagey. Have you ever heard one in your yard? It's like all of a sudden you just hear like crunching. And all they're doing is like, they're like dragging the ground with them, basically. Like digging holes. Basically, I think they dig holes. I think that's why people get mad at them being in the yard. They dig like little tiny holes everywhere. But yeah, it's like what if they need to dig holes? You know, we need to dig holes all the time. So then this piece of armor. Oh, that's the ear. It's not armor. Oops. Alright, I gotta do this. I gotta stick with the silhouette. I almost lost my training there. Alright. Okay, and then get a little bit of 3D happening here. Here's where it's gonna look like round. So this edge go around like that. Which I shouldn't have made a line like that. I should have made it lumpy. Or just like done it with a dotted line. Can't come back with the lumps later. It's one trick I use in pen all the time. You can kind of like sketch things out with really small dots placed in such a way that once you get back to them, you draw over them and they're gone. It's like a way of mapping with pen before you draw it. Essentially, you are making a permanent decision with the dots anyway, but it's a little bit less permanent. Sometimes I'll put a dot right in the middle of my paper where the horizon line is, the tiniest dot I can. Barely can see it. And that'll be my grid, basically. Getting to the point I practice grids just enough to where the dot in the center, I can kind of move around the picture plane. But I still mess it up all the time. Like, ultimately, when you have a grid laid out, it's hard to be that perfect. But that's the thing, is I don't want it to be that laser sharp draftman. I want there to be a little bit of twist and style and interpretation in it, so. I think the twist in style and interpretation comes from like guessing where the grid is. Well, not guessing, but you know, eyeballing it rather than making sure it's perfect every time. Okay, so this goes right past his eye and then goes behind the ear. So I gotta interrupt this line with the ear. And this armadillo has much smaller ears than the other breed. I unfortunately forgot to press record on the other camera, but we got most of it. Like, I have the other 3 armadillos. So ear does that. And then we just barely see it on the other side here. And then his eye. Oh, they have eyes. I guess they're just blind as hell, right? That's what it is. The other pictures I saw, I guess it was just the way they were all rummaging in the ground. I know, I swear, like we walked into those armadillos the other day, and just I felt like they didn't even know I was there.
They've been all over the place here lately, and I've walked up to them at least 5 times recently, like within several feet, before they realized I was near them.
Oh, and this one has a lumpy tail. It's like, so it goes like here. Can't tell what I'm looking at because he's all folded up. So it's just like a mess of claws and armor, and it looks like there's a claw just sticking out right here. Right up from that flap, and then another one just behind it. It's like his hand is just tucked under there. And then the same thing on this side. It's like you see a long nail You gotta cut your nails, dude. You're getting pretty gnarly. There we go. There's a really distinct like trim to this guy's armor. Okay. Sorry, I was just picking something on my stream there. And here's where the hand comes in, which is just cool. I'm just gonna add it in because I like it. Wraps around here too. And just kind of trails off there. We got our knuckle, which not exactly the knuckle lines I wanted to draw there. They're a little too connected, but whatever. And basically, yeah. Yeah, we can bring it to a sleeve if we want. Could always keep stretching my brain. So it's kind of the army that's in the hand. I'm gonna finish it up with some texture and shading here. I realize my hand gets in the way pretty bad sometimes, but there's not much I can do about it. Just gotta wait till I'm done drawing that, move it. Try to draw with like just the tip of the pen, I guess. Like right now you can kind of see what I'm doing, right? Yeah. See, here's where I don't know what's going on. It's all like, it almost looks like when he picked this army up, it had like, it like grabbed a bunch of leaves with and like grabbed and like took it with him. So he's like holding a bunch of leaves and stuff, probably because he was scared. But so it's not actually him. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know, bullshit some texture. I guess I can see a hint of his toes. But I'll just do those circles and then shade the rest in. I guess it's worth color correcting the camera like that, huh? That looks so much better with that black contrast like that. Unlike it reminds me when I did my day 3, the bat, the way the light was shining off the bat, it was like weird. Just gotta make sure I don't ruin the silhouette of the tail. There we go. Getting some of that ambient occlusion going on, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Okay, yep, this needs to be colored in here. I got lost for a second with my eyes. There's this little like notch cut out in his armor. Right here. Trace it with the AO. Ambient occlusion. Some of that AO, bro. Okay. And this guy has like super pronounced square like armor. It's like this. It's like shingles almost on a roof. Guess I just realized the way to describe something. Like sometimes with textures, you can figure out a motion with your hand that draws the texture automatically, rather than trying to literally draw the texture and how it looks. And so instead, you just move your hand around in that motion, and the texture is created magically. Obviously, not magically, but you know, it's better, I guess, to memorize the motion and get a feeling for what it feels like to make the little armadillo shape on the armor, and then like figure out how to squiggle it really fast over and over, kind of like picking a note on an instrument almost. Like this one, take my time with it for a second, like figure out. It's basically, this is like little bubbles, change direction now and again. So I'll just fix my hand in a certain direction where it'll make that bubble shape, and then when I want the bubble shape to change, fix my hand in another direction. As long as the curve shape is practiced, it'll go in that direction. And I almost on every single drawing, if not every single drawing, overshoot and undershoot those lines all the time. I guess that's the joy of drawing with pen, though. It's like that's what interests me about it, the mastery of getting that pen stroke on the first try, the line the first try. Because sometimes that's what makes a line so good and look so alive, is when it's drawn quickly and has that energy flowing through it. Because lines have energy to them, and you can tell what kind of energy that was put into them by how they look on the paper. It's really hard to draw a perfectly curved line slow without it being shaky. So the best way to practice them is like with an arced wrist, and practice getting it quick. Like put a grid on a paper of 40 little boxes and practice drawing a little perfect C as fast as you can on all of them. Do that like over and over. Little like repetition things. I mean that's boring, you know, like it's not fun sounding to do that with drawing, but like if you can do it sometimes, like force yourself to and get little exercises like that, it like just increases the mileage that your hand has with certain shapes, and then it like eventually you just start feeling what like an ellipse feels like. It's like you don't have to like place your hand on the C chord on the guitar anymore. You just put your hand in a feeling and it's a C chord. That ends up happening with like perspective and stuff too. And like drawing like a cube has like a feeling, like the way it looks and feels in perspective. When you know, like when you put enough hours into the same shapes, you'll know what I mean, I swear. But it's like anything else. That's how you can compare it to other things. Be like, yeah, it's like muscle memory, but with like specific things. Like I have a lot of muscle memory, like drawing rocks, because I just have like just drawn a shit ton of rocks. So I started on a lot of nature, so I just have a lot of like rock feelings in my pencil hand memorized. Rock feelings as in rock shapes, like what I draw, but just that's how they're memorized. I don't have like a bunch of different rocks memorized. It's not memorized. It's like I move my hand in a way that looks like rock on the paper. I just have that practiced. I can relate to it. I can relate it to the piano for sure. Sweet, yeah, exactly. Hope that music isn't too loud. I just noticed because my EQ bar was rocketing into red suddenly. Well, there we go. There's some of those 4 armadillos. I'm pretty happy with them. We got one sitting up in the grass, one snuffling in a bush, one plopped and loafed on the ground, and one curled up in someone's hand. I'm gonna add a little bit of shading. You said the music's a bit loud? Alright, sweet. Yeah, I'll turn it down. Thank you. It's hard to tell. Sorry, guys. Gonna get some shadow probably from the armadillo. I mean, of course, depending on where the light's coming from. It's like just some dude drumming. Now I'll just pause the music. Screw it. Get so many copyright strikes or the mutes these days anyway. It's all a bunch of free domain, like no name music, generic anyway. Trying to like separate some of the edges here a little bit more. Things kind of get a little tucked, you know. The head could use a little bit of shading. So this guy right here. Do some contour shading or whatever you want to call it. I'm not good with the terms. What's the kind of shading called when you're following like the surface? You know what I mean? You're not like just doing straight hatches. Kind of like how I did here. You know, I disobeyed the surface for the hand. The contour shading, contour hatching. I don't know. You know what I mean. All right. His eye's a little hidden there, but there we go. Armadillo. Guess I'll put my little screen name here. I don't have neat handwriting. I have to really try. I really do. It's probably going crooked right now. I can't get the letters the same or the spacing the same ever. I've just learned to accept it though. There you go. That's what I've been doing lately. You know? My handle. Because it's like, no one cares about your name anymore. It's like, what's your Instagram, right? It's like, cool, your name's Jokum Cavallino, but it's like, what's your Instagram? It's like, oh, Planet Jokum. Cool. There we go. The armies. We did it. We did today's. I feel like at least I had to start with today's. You know what I'm saying? But there it is. Let's see. We'll zoom in. We'll zoom in on each one for the final thing. So there's the plopped one. He's like, "What was that? I heard something." Because that's pretty much what they do. That's like the scariest they get. They just look up. They're like, "Huh? Dude." And then the second one we drew is this guy in this bush. He obviously was, I mean, that's definitely a lot of what they do is they rustle and snuffle in bushes. There's the other one. And then we have this guy. I like this guy. I didn't like him at first, and then I pushed through it. And I like his like perspective and how he's kind of just sitting on the ground. Like I like how he folds here. It gets all squished there. Came out how I wanted it to. And then the cute little balled up guy in the hand. Which honestly I would hold an armadillo if it was like that. And was just looking at me. I would just have it in my hand like that for a second. Give it a little scratch on the head. Anyway, there they are. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate y'all. Look out for the reel. I'm going to do a little time lapse as always. And please, if you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you went over to my YouTube and subscribed and followed there. Just trying to build it right now. That's all. But have a great night from wherever you are. I'll see you next Saturday for the drawing of the day. And yeah, have a good night, good day, good morning, wherever you are.